award-winning marketer and author, and a builder who treats transformation like a craft. Please welcome Ms Sinchu.
Truly, I understand the importance of leadership, the importance of governance, and building the system that scale.
You're now mentoring teams to monetize retail assets and build social infrastructure financing for K-12 partners while running performance marketing with healthcare precision.
So, for me, the key takeaway is that scaling is not just about activity, it's about the structure, clarity, and the discipline.
Hello everyone and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders powered by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host Tanay All, and today we're stepping into a world where brand is a growth engine, governance is baked into code, and AI isn't a buzzword. It's how strategy ships on Monday. Our guest this evening is a force in modern marketing with 15 plus years across healthcare, manufacturing, technology, and global B2B, B2C. She has led large teams, stewarded multi-million dollar budgets, and turned data into decisions that actually move revenue. A TEDx speaker, award winning marketer, and author, and a builder who treats transformation like a craft. Please welcome Ms Sinchu, Chief Marketing Officer and Digital Transformation Leader. Ma'am, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you with us today. Ma'am, you've spanned industries and cycles, but every glossy bio hides grit. Could you please take us back to where it all started, one or two moments that changed your arc, a challenge that humbled you, and a decision you still stand by today?
Yes, first of all, thank you for having me. Honestly, my career didn't start in a planned or in a linear way. So it's begun all out of circumstances. Because after my graduation engineering, I was working in Mumbai, and during that time, my mother fallen sick. So I have to move back to my hometown. That period, it was tough personally, but also become a turning point professionally. I joined a small startup almost by chance. That where I discovered my passion on marketing. So there where the marketing journey actually started. It was hands-on, scrappy, and intensively creative. After launching my business, also now we crossed figures in just a span of a year because of that early spark and the lesson that's starting from small. So the second defining moment came during my first corporate experience. I moved to my new city with my newborn and navigating on my own life. It was a little bit challenging, when we move with our newborn along, staying along in a new city with new challenges. And within 2 months, my father passed away. So that was heartbreaking, and it was very unexpected situation. The same time, I was suddenly leading a critical project with very tight deadline. So those moments, it's like were intense, managing grief, responsibility, and high stakes. But it was that crucible that truly I understand the importance of leadership, the importance of governance, and building the system that scale. So that period shaped not just my professional approach, but also how I navigate challenges in my life and business. So looking back, the decision I still stand by embracing those difficult moments rather than waiting for the perfect condition. So each challenge, whether it's a personal, professional, taught me resilience actually, how to build a system that endure and how leadership is truly tested when stakes are the highest.
Very well said, ma'am. Sometimes in life, our journey is defined by just things that happen more so, that we think we'll plan it, but sometimes
Yes.
just life moves a certain way. Ma'am, in 2022, 2025, while many teams chase vanity metrics, you were wiring in discipline, P&L thinking, first party data, and AI assisted operations. You led cross functional marketing that moved the needle, patient acquisition for hospitals, dealer digitization in manufacturing, and global pipeline lift in tech. Could you please walk us through your first 90 days playbook? Like, what were the hardest calls to stabilize and scale, and how did you bring stakeholders along?
So the 90 days. When I onboarded a manufacturing client in automation, because I'm just telling as a case study sort of thing. So I walk into the company with huge potential but very little infrastructure. So that they had no marketing plan, they have no systems or sales or lead generation, and branding was almost non-existent. The first 90 days were all about understanding the gaps and building the foundation that could scale. So I started by mapping end-to-end journey from awareness to lead generation to conversion. We created a branding foundation that told a clear story and aligned it with marketing system that was measurable, repeatable, and accountable. So that was not about designing a campaign, it was about building a process, dashboard, and a clarity so every team member know their roles and metrics that matters. So the hardest call were about the prioritization pushback. For example, if I had to pose some traditional sales approach that were comfortable but ineffective, and instead of we focus more on digital campaigns, we force the for sales activities, then focus more on digital lead scoring and structured follow-ups. There was an initial resistance from the stakeholders used to stick with the old ways, but I brought them along by showing quick wins and using some simple dashboard that link marketing action directly to the revenue. So within the first year, the result were tangible because the company went from 25 lakh annual revenue to 3 CR in a first year, and the second year they crossed more than 10 CR. More importantly, the team learned to operate the P&L mindset, and the system we put in place created a repeatable success rather than one-off wins. So for me, the key takeaway is that scaling it's not just about activity. It's about the structure, clarity, and the discipline. If you can build a system that connect marketing, sales, and revenue, a company starting from zero can even achieve the remarkable growth. So that's what my experience in the manufacturing sector.
Very well said, ma'am. And the first 90 days are, or any, the start is about building a base, right? To make sure that everyone's on the same page so that the later days become easier. Ma'am, you're now mentoring teams to monetize retail assets and build social infrastructure financing for K-12 partners while running performance marketing with healthcare precision. How do you make impact live inside the P&L and not just the brochure?
Few years ago, I worked with a client who had an underutilized retail space. K-12 partners needed financing and an online presence that was not translating into the real revenue. So the challenge was that these assets and initiative existed, but the economics were not properly predictable. So the marketing was running in silos. So we approached it by treating every channel. So not only online, offline as a PN lever. For retail, we launch a short-term pop-ups and revenue share models, converting ideal space into recurring income. So online, what we have done, we built a full marketing funnel, branding, performance campaigns, and lead nurturing. So every click and engagement we try to convert into ROI. For the K-12 partners, we structured blended financing models with grants, debt, and outcome. So linked tranches ensuring the predictable unit economics for the scaling classroom. So every initiative we had a measurable cash flow impact instead of not just a story to tell it. The hardest call was posting a high spend campaigns both offline and online because that was popular but unprofitable. It was uncomfortable initially, but linking every decision to revenue or a margin to the customer lifetime value, we aligned it with the stakeholders. At the end, we have to connect with the revenue, how much it is going to connect it, whether it's a campaign is popular or not. So that is something which we done. So the dashboards, the pilot guarantees, and shared upside close made outcome visible and credible actually. And later, if one more example, I can say that we ran a retail pop-up program into two street locations and in one integrated online marketing campaign simultaneously. Within 6 months, I think the rental leads rose by 30 percentage and online lead conversion increased by 25 percentage, and K-12 financing model reduced time to classroom by 4 months by utilizing the tuition fee revenue recognition. So the lesson we learn from this, it's a trust grows when stakeholders see the discipline experimentation, delivering measurable impact in both online and offline. So the principle we used is simple. Monetization must be back into P&L across all the channels, offline assets, online campaigns, and social media programs must all contribute to the measurable economics. Without that, even the most beautiful brochure is just a decoration. Seriously.
Beautiful, beautiful line. Which is very true. Like,
Yeah.
it'll just be used as somewhere and not actually help anybody.
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, you've led multiple platform builds. We would love to know, where do leaders go wrong while scaling tech, and how do you ensure tech reinforces governance and outcomes and not just automates a bad process?
That's a good question. Because I remember a few years before one early platform launch in healthcare projects, we were excited to go live quickly. But within days, consent tracking issues and missing audit trails caused a delay. And we never misses the audit trails caused delays without a complaints. It's very difficult to onboard at that time. So it hit me hard because scaling too fast without a proper guidelines can cost trust, revenue, and time. So I have seen the leaders often making three mistakes because automating the broken process, chasing we always chasing speed over stability, and treating governance like a policy checklist. And I made these mistakes also. So it was like a humbling. From that, I learned to build tech with built-in safeguards. We introduced the feature flags for controlled rollouts, live dashboard to monitor outcomes in a real time, and a clear KPI to link every action to a measurable business impact. So I still remembering in one project for a manufacturing client, the API integration cut errors by 30% and accelerating deliveries while giving the leadership clear visibility of progress. Then the hardest call I ever made was delaying a major platform feature launch because the stakeholders were impatient, but launching the risk data and the trust even more causing the problem. So we ran a small pilot, showed a measurable results, and tied success directly to P&L and the operation outcomes. So that approach knows that approach turned the skeptics into the collaborations. Actually, that was a hard decision I made. The principle what I followed that time, it's a technology should make a good behavior easily and visible, not just automate bad habits. Because once it's go live, it completely out of hand, it's completely depends upon the credibility, everything will go. So it's very important to check this. You know, the aviation with checklist or retail with inventory, finance with stress test, they all reinforce discipline. Scaling tech safely is all about building the system that enforce good practice, protecting outcomes, and giving leaders confidence to grow without their chaos. So
True,
that is how.
ma'am. And tech needs to be grown carefully, because if it goes wrong and isn't done in the right way, it can lead, like, the entire system can come crashing down later.
Entire business, even when I work with Michelin company, so we used to follow this regulations very strictly because one small mistake can cause a big loss in the company.
100, 100%.
Maybe it seems like a little minute things, but it's matter a lot.
100%. Okay, ma'am, now time for a very own rapid fire round. A few quick questions and as quick as answers as possible. So, are you ready?
Yes,
Lovely. Beach vacation or mountain escape?
mountains.
Okay. A movie you can quote start to finish.
Drishyam. It's a Malayalam movie.
Yeah. Your go to karaoke song.
No, it's I love all South Indian songs. It's not a specific one. It's a seasonal, whatever it is coming.
Okay. A fashion trend you secretly love.
I love sari, but I
Yeah.
never got a chance to wear more.
What's always in your handbag except your phone?
A small notebook and a pen, so I
Okay.
always carry.
Your guilty pleasure TV show or web series?
Web series,
Good.
The Family Man. I bring it
Okay.
even when I know I have.
Great. If you could teleport anywhere right now, where would you go?
Kerala backwaters.
Lovely. First celebrity crush.
Mohanlal, the complete actor.
Yeah. A food you could eat every single day and never get bored of.
Biryani.
Ah, love it. If you weren't in marketing, what completely different job do you think you would have tried?
Maybe I'm into designing. I'm good at designs, drawing, and also maybe somewhere I'm into designing part.
Great, great. Great, ma'am. That's it. That was a rapid fire round. I think you were very rapid and very good. So thank you. Ma'am, in a privacy first, AI heavy world, brand risk isn't just PR, right? It's data ethics, consent, accessibility, and real world safety. One slip can cost trust, revenue, and careers. With your background in data driven marketing across regulated sectors like healthcare, what are the non negotiables to prevent brand and data incidents? Like, and how do leaders make sure controls are living systems and not just, laminated manuals?
Hmm. So I still remember walking into the campaign review where a marketing push in healthcare almost went live without a proper patient consent documentation. So one wrong click, one overlooked checkbox, and we could have exposed the sensitive patient data. So that was a hard time. So it was a very tense moment, and kind of that makes you realize brand risks. It's very hypothetic, right? So it's a real money, trust, even career is online. So for that moment, I built my non-negotiable around the four simple human truths. First, it's still I am following this actually. So for first, transparency of consent. Everyone interacting with our system must know exactly what they are agreeing to. Even if it is a small campaigns, also the consent is very important. Onboarding the dealers, offboarding, or even creating the things, it's very important. Second, accessibility by default. Any tool, content, or interface must be usable by everyone, including people with disabilities. Third, the clarity of data ownership. You can't manage what you can't define. And fourth, explainable AI. Any automation we deploy should have a reasoning that humans can verify, not a black box. These were not theoretical checklist. I had to defend them in boards where the pressure to move fast as what it was in intense. The leaders often fall into the trap of creating controls that look great on papers but die in practical training modules. Nobody reads or policies, nobody, we don't follow the policy. So early in my career also I saw a new tool. It's related to a rolled out without a bias checks. The result was skewed, the casing the internal alarm before anyone realizing we have to work on that. So that was a wake up call. So for me, that we realized that to protect trust, control must be living system, real time dashboard, real team simulation, mock beaches, and continuous audit cycles. No, so they detect the problems before they escalated. So that continuous audit, everything we followed, and one of the hardest call I've made was posting the high revenue digital campaign because of our accessibility audit flag gaps. They were immediate pushback from sales and marketing team also. They were argued about the targets and deadlines, but we reframed it because it's not about the compliances. It was about the financial risk, protecting a consent and accessibility, protecting revenue, right? So I set up a small cross-functional pilot and dashboard showing that compliance in the real time and a clear tie to revenue to the KPIs. So within the week, not only did the campaign resume safely, but we also reduced the potential regular exposure over 80%. The principles we carry into every project is simple. Controls can't be a binders. They must be the sensors because they have to detect risk as it happens, not just sit on the shelf. So because that should strictly follow. Look into the aviation because we know the flight checklists are very crucial, no? But live telemetry or ongoing monitoring ensures the pilots can act before issue become disasters. So it's a similar way in healthcare, marketing, or even finance, or in a heavy domain. Protecting trust is not extra, it's a strategy. It's how we keep our brand, our business, or our team safe while scaling. So that is very important. So ensuring this checklist.
Yeah, very well said, ma'am. Ma'am, you've been engaging with Directors Institute to elevate boardroom excellence. What inspired you to join, and how has it reshaped your view on modern governance?
I joined Directors Institute because I want to see the governance from the lens of strategy, just not in compliances actually. In my own work, especially across healthcare or even regulatory sectors, manufacturing, I have learned that brand and business risk are two sides of the same coin. By seeing how directors think and about the risk, decision rights, and the board accountability gave me new perspective. I began to see the governance is an enabler. When done right, it's a backbone that allows it to innovation or the digital transformation or even in A to scale safely. So, also, if you ask me, the governance is a strategic insurance. It may feel slow, hard to implement, but it protects brand, business, and trust to scale across industries, healthcare, finance, or in aviation, or even manufacturing. The organizations that thrive are not those because of the neatest manual. They are the ones with the sensors, feedbacks, loops, and the living system. So, Directors Institute helped me to see that the best leaders treat governance as a tool to unlock the growth safely. It's not an obstacle to speed, and the mindset have reshaped how I build the teams or scale the business and approach every decision. It's in an AI and a data driven world. So directors in institute help me to think on that perspective, especially in the governance.
Lovely, ma'am. Thank you so much for those kind words and for bringing the real, the discipline behind the creativity, the ethics inside the automation and the human energy powering transformation, the real you and what it actually takes to be you. Thank you so much for discussing that with us. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Tanay.
To our listeners, take today's playbook: Unit Economics for Impact, Governance by Design, and Leadership that chooses trust at scale. This has been FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm Tanayol, and until next time, keep learning, keep growing, lead with purpose, and of course, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.